Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? And I hope you've got some Easter chocolate left. I don't want you scoffing it all at once now, guys, even if my name is BonBon. Couple of points of order. First of all, I know you don't expect a response on YouTube in the comments, but I have been doing it pretty much solidly since I launched the channel. 2,500 subscribers, it's starting to get difficult for me to do so, so if I don't comment on your comment, don't think I'm snubbing you. I'm just literally struggling to keep up. I will where I can, and specifically if you ask me a question I will try and respond, but anyway, that's enough about that. Also, do you remember last week we had BonBonB, little prop hiding in the map somewhere? Some of you played along, many of you didn't, or if you did, you didn't stick it in the comments. You need to put these things in the comments, guys, because that's the only way I know that you're playing. So he's going. If you want him back, you're going to have to comment in your droves. Comment in your droves, guys, and I will bring him back. Today's map, top of the workshop, it's Hemshep Bay or Hemshep Bay. I'm going with Hemshep Bay by Apple. This is a creator that we've seen a couple of times before, back in episodes 1, 2, 3 and 2, 5, 6. There's the start square. In 1, 2, 3 it was Supper Bay, got 14 stars, just shy of the big maximum score. That's your field painting in the resources. And in episode 256 we had Reverend Valley and got 12 stars, which is still a very good score also. Now what we've got here is mass transit's required. Any road outside connections is going to be very useful on this particular map. Also unlimited trees and a few bits. There's also the realistic European theme as well. I've decided there's no recommended LUT, and where there's no recommended LUT I normally go with the realistic V1.2, and that's what I've done today. So if you want to replicate what you're seeing on the screen, you need all of those as well. Now the roads. The roads aren't highways, they are national roads. They fit the aesthetic. I understand exactly why Apple has done this, and I'm not going to fault them for it. It does, however, restrict the amount of city growth you're going to be able to have, because you're just going to get gridlocked roads very, very quickly if you're going for the big city build. Now, maybe this is not meant to be a big city build. Maybe this map has been built for a series of small towns and small villages. A little bit of a sharp bend there. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You get sharp bends in national roads. Well, in the country, in any country. We'll follow this along, and like I say, Apple knows how to use the road tool, as you're about to see here. That's pretty smooth. I'll say the theme, I'm not so sure about the cliff texture on this theme. It just seems a bit low definition for my liking. It does draw away from the aesthetics somewhat along the edges of the road. So just on the right of the road here, that just seems a bit too blurry for my particular liking, and that does draw away from the aesthetic, and will actually directly affect the aesthetic score. I'm sorry, I mean it's it's the prescribed theme. You want to use a different theme, we'll then use a different theme, and then you'll have a prettier map maybe. Following this road on as we get down to the water's front in a second. There it is. Ah, love a bit of water, me. Ah, lovely. Now, bridges. There is this bridge, and there's nothing wrong with it. Very happy with that. Very nicely placed, positioned, and worked. All good. Now, these are the intersections. There's a couple like this. One goes off that way. We're actually going to join up with that in a minute. So in the second one, I'll say, oh, back there. This is the intersection we'll be looking back towards. We'll just follow the road on. We're heading up towards the factory. We'll look at the factory in more detail in a moment because, well, we kind of need to, I'm afraid. The detailing on this map, I would say the tree placement is great. this intersection here, we could go left, that takes us all the way out to the fog. But we're going to head right. The detail on, normally outstanding work from Apple. I think there's a few things that baffle me on this map. Not that they're particularly wrong, they're just baffling. For a realistic map, that heads off back to where we were a second ago. Now we're heading left and heading towards something that I've not actually seen in the map review. How many map reviews have we done? Oh, loads. And the first map reviews, there were 3 on each show, so even more than loads. We're about to see something that I've not seen in a map before. So get yourselves ready. Are you ready? No, not that essential lighthouse. We've seen them before. We're going to creep round this bend here. Oh, let's get the rocky area around here. Rocky and rubbly and rubbly. Rubbly jubbly. And there's a little bit of water creeping onto the road here. Is that intended? Not sure, but look at this. Rockfall across the road. I don't know where that road was originally going to. It doesn't re-emerge at any point. But this is obviously an obsolete road. And I don't know whether this was intended. And I think the flooding does kind of add to it. It doesn't exist anymore, this road, as a usable road. So I kind of get that. So anyway, that for me is the high point of all the detailing. Then they get low points like this. Speaking of rocks, this one, I mean, trees encroaching onto the line, maybe. This rock? No. Definitely no. And if you have a look up the slope, there's no sign that it's rolled down the slope, otherwise it would have taken out most of those trees. So for me, I can't find an explanation why that should be there, so I'm calling that a detailing error. We'll move along. But yeah, the tree placement's really good. When it comes to the detailing score, the tree placement does kind of come into it. I'm not talking about whether there's trees on the lines or anything like that, but do they look like they're genuine forest? Do the trees look like they belong in the locations that they've been placed? Yes, that kind of comes into the aesthetic score as well, but then choosing the right trees as well comes in. It's a combination. All of the gameplay, aesthetic and detailing scores all cross over with each other. Into a tunnel there, and then out the other side. Both of these are very good. Yes, so they all cross over with each other, and depending on what side of bed I've fallen and whether I've changed my underpants in the morning, all those number of reasons can affect the way that I score each map. And I try and be consistent, but it just depends. Let me have a show you this. This is where the rail ends. When we come back and have a look at this level crossing, I would suggest that the sound barriers would restrict vision, and I think that's something that you really need at a level crossing. So I don't like that either. I'm such a moaner. And on to today's asset review. That's what we're doing. Asset review. We'll do the theme review in a minute. These I really like a lot. Okay, not the highest definition buildings, but there's something about them that draws me to them. And honestly, the next city build I do, I'm using these. Might be a while, but I really am using it. I love them. I think they're absolutely... Oh, that bulk building period in, like, say, the 70s, where they just threw up loads of stuff. Concrete blocks and whatever. I think this is the thing. This residential building, Hansa 02, by Lipolan Shamani. I held back on that, and you were worried about me doing that, but I'm going with that. I think this is... definitely a worthy addition to the workshop. Not the highest detailed, but I love it. Residential building Hansa 02 by Lipolan Shamani, today's asset of the day. Now this week's theme and LUT, we are going with the Vacheton, oh for goodness me, I'm going with Vacheton Frost winter theme by Hadith, and if that's wrong, I apologise. With LUT for snowfall, and you'll be able to hear me pronounce this word wrong every day this week, Monday to Saturday. The factoids, of course. A runcible spoon is not a spoon. It's a curved three-pronged fork. I'm sure a lot of you cooks knew this, I'm sure, for serving out pastas and things like that. When the first duck-billed platypus arrived at the British Museum, the curators thought it was a fake and tried to pull off its beak. Oh, well, to be fair, To be fair, it is an odd looking creature, but so am I. Nobody's pulling my beak off. Oh, brilliant. Now, shall we go back to the map? Why not? Hemshep Bay. Yeah, Hemshep Bay? Yeah, Hemshep Bay by Apple. I can't remember which one I went with. I'm going with Hemshep. And shipping routes, very plain and simple. They don't go across ground. They go to where you need them to. Fine. It's all good. And then the water. Now, the water. Ooh, the water. We've got water pushing in from the side of the map. That is standard. So there should be some water movement on 3 sides of the map, and the 4th side, the water gets sucked off, basically. Here, it's pushing in again. That's good. And then we come into the bay here. It is moving. It's moving into the bay. And then over here, I'm worried this might be flowing up the river. We've got a water source there as well. That's interesting. Good. And then if we head over here, we'll just check this, and the water is actually flowing down out of the river, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's have a look at the rivers themselves. They are very shallow, which is interesting detailing work. Not so much for drawing water from these as sources, but if you have a look there, they're definitely moving. Right, now first of all, my big problem isn't actually so much with the field painting, it's with the size of the fields. Remember that a tile is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. Means that this field is huge. And you could say, well, it's not a field, obviously, but it's lined with trees to make it look like hedgerows. I'm calling that a field. And 2 kilometers, I mean, goodness me. I mean, I'm sure maybe, I've not been to America, I don't do any research or anything like that, but in the Midwest or whatever, there may be fields that kind of size. But here, in this location, I'm not so sure. Anyway, we've got water that is like, I know, not flowing strongly. We've got hardly anything here. In fact, we've got nothing here. Oh, it's coming through now. And this is definitely a feature of these shallow streams. There's not a consistent water flow. And this map has been running for a while. I've given it a chance to settle down. And it is just a little bit gloopy. I mean, the water is gloopy in the game anyway, which is where the skill of making these rivers. I'm not worried about that tree in the water there. I'm okay with that in the water there. That's fine. Then down here, look. You wouldn't know there was a river here at all, would you? You wouldn't know there was a river there at all. It's just a little bit weak. Some extra sources or increasing the weight at the beginning would have been better. Then down here, it looks like it's getting stronger. This is better, isn't it? This is much better. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it kind of is. Oh, no, it's not. It's gone again. This is, for me, probably the biggest disappointment with the map. I mean, these rivers, if they were spot on and flowing just steadily, oh, it would make this map so much better. And here, the water enters the river here. Got these trees in the middle, and that, for me, I'm not sure where the water was meant to enter that. That's, once again, I think that's a minor fail. So much good work and so much minor fail. The density of the forests, though, you can't fault this. This is absolutely stunning work. Absolutely stunning. Let's have a look at the islands. Building on there might be a bit difficult. I'm not faulting that. Building on there would be difficult as well. No, I'm not faulting an island for being difficult to build on, because sometimes they are. Just pointing out a fact. And not marking it down. Now, detailing over here. This is like what? Right, we've got a castle, and a factory, and a gun placement, and a jetty, and 2 sunk ships. Okay, all of that. And then over here we've got the ditch, of course, the trench, and a couple of bungalows. It's almost like throw down any asset you can think of just to detail this area. Doesn't seem to be any thought put into it. Loving this rockfall, though. This rockfall, I tried one in Merrickstowe, and I think this is better than mine. So credit where it's due. Looks like the trees have been cleared with that rockfall, and I like it a lot. What else did we have? I'm sure there's something else that we needed to check out. Look, I'm scanning around for it. Oh, there, over here. The Essential Lighthouse. Down here, it's also something very odd for me. First of all, the Essential Lighthouse, and immediately behind it, we have got another trench and this pile of cars. Okay, abandoned cars, that's fine. But how do they get there? because the road is just up behind these rocks. You can't get them over the rocks. You can barely get them around the bungalow because of the rock in the way and the tree. You can't really go around the lower part because of the sea. So how do they get them down from that road to the other side of that bungalow? These ones, not a problem at all. These ones make perfect sense. So, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with the detailing. It perplexes me on this particular map. And that's not something I thought I would say about Apple, because they are notoriously good. Aesthetically, I think it's a really pretty map. And I'm going to give it a very solid 4 stars straight off the bat. Detailing, there's nothing much wrong with it. Yes, the problem with the water flow, but it just doesn't make much sense to me. I can't give it more than 3. Certainly nothing wrong with it to get a 2. I can't give it more than 3 though. Gameplay potential, if you're looking to build a series of small towns, etc, etc. Yeah, very nice map for that. I can't give it 5 stars because, well, there are definite limitations on this map. But I think I'm going to credit it with a 4th star for gameplay. But it is a very squeaky 4th star, not a conclusive one. Hemshep Bay by Apple, 4, 3 and 4. And I'm sure a lot of you will disagree with me on that 4th star for gameplay. But if you do, stick it in the comments below. I'm always reading and learning from what you're feeling. And it does affect how I think in the future. Well, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series. The guys above, there's my supporters on Patreon. There are a few more since then, and a new card will go up in the next few days, adding the new people as well. Well, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Join me tomorrow and have a absolutely chocolate-filled day. See you later.